tutorial on how to calculate damage per peck. I think that's something a lot of people just find confusing. So I'm going to go straight over here to the Entropedia page. And you could use Weapon Compare 1 or Weapon Compare version 2. It's just a newer version. I think it has some updates, maybe different ways of calculating, but it's all pretty much the same. We'll just use Weapon Compare part 1. And so let's see. We're calculating damage per peck. So what's a gun that people might use? Enkid Howler or Prototype or something like that. So we'll just take Enkid Howler or Prototype. It's an unlimited gun. I think it's a pretty good gun. Let's find out for sure if it's a good gun. Well, if you just use it by itself with no amps whatsoever, we can see right here that it has a damage per peck of 2.875. Now, to be honest, that damage per peck is horrible. And if you use the gun without any amp, yeah, you'll probably be losing some ped using that. So it's not economical. Now let's find out if we can make this gun a little bit more economical. We'll put some amps on it and see what happens. If we put an A101 on, well, the first thing I like to do with throwing amps on guns is I'll throw a really big amp on it. So right here we have, oh, here's an amp, a Shear Pro 900L. See that number at the end, 50? That's like, I don't know how to say it. That's the number you're looking for, that 50 on the end. That's like the damage output that gets put into the gun. So we'll take the one with the 50, right? And it comes right over here where it's red and it says plus 20. Well, that tells you right there that the biggest amp you can put on this gun is something with the number 20 or lower. This one here is 50. So let's try to find one that's right at 20 or lower. Well, here's A204. I'll pick A204 because it fits on it, yeah. And it makes the eco pretty good. But the reason I'm not gonna stick with the A204 is because it's like a $1,000 amp. So let's go to A106, which is more realistic. And A106 has an 18 damage factor that goes in there. It puts the gun at an eco of 2.97. So let's go ahead and click add. We'll add that in there. Well, 2.97 is a lot better than 2.875. It's actually considered very eco. So this is a great gun. It's got really good range, 68, and has a DPS of 18.81, which is not too bad for like a starting gun. Let's do another gun, or a weapon. Let's try what's the one? Genesis something. Let's try Genesis. What about that sword? The Shagati something. Ice Rage, Rainbow Sword. Firefly. No, not Firefly. What about the? Let's just check Rainbow Sword, just for the heck of it. So Rainbow Sword, we could just check it by itself. Has a base DP damage per peck of 2.902, which is decent because it's getting in the 2.9 category. But I don't like to use anything unamped if I don't have to. So let's start by throwing a big amp on it to see where we need to get to a category. And dang, this thing can hold an X amp, and I think that might be the biggest amp available for melee. Yeah, it is. So that's the biggest amp available. It puts it at a 2.946, which is pretty good. The thing here with this, here's a 8 modified. Let's try that. 954. 954 is better than 946, but you're sacrificing some DPS just a little bit. So this would be a great one to use with a modified. It gets you at 2.954, but 2.954 is still not all that great. Let's try Castorian 14. We'll do this last one, a 14 Mentor Edition, because I know what's possible with this. First of all, it can only use a biggest amp of 25.5 right there. So I'm going to go over here and find something that fits in that category. 28 would be too big. So I'm going to go with the Trauma Amp 5, puts it at 24. And this gives it a damage per peck of 3.007. And yeah, that's realistic with a lot of stuff, but this thing is a level 100 max weapon. So 3.007 would take a while to actually achieve that, because you'd have to be closer to level 100. 65 damage per second. So you could use this with all kinds of guns. Let's see here. Yeah, so you could use it with all the guns. Let's just check Apollo. That's more of something a noob can relate to. Solomon Apollo. What would be the best amp for this weapon? Well, right, based by itself, if you're shooting that gun without any amp, that's terrible. It's 2.752. That's horrible eco. So let's try to get that number closer to 3.0. Let's throw a big amp on it to see what we can handle. We can handle a factor of 4. So the Syncadus fits in there, and that's a noob amp. It puts it at 2.834. What about an A101? A101 3, yes. And that puts it at 2.861, still not eco. This gun is just terrible. Am I missing something here? No. It doesn't really get eco ever. It's 2.861. It's just not good to shoot at all. There's a lot of noob guns that are better than that, like the, what is it called? Dang it, I forget what it's called. Well, we got the SI stuff. The SI, we got Scorpion, HK110. That's a really great noob starting gun. Just not by itself, obviously. 2.571. We got to put some kind of an amp on it, and I'm pretty sure it's the Syncadus. Yeah, the Syncadus puts it at 2.974, which is extremely good eco for anybody starting out, and it's really affordable. So SIHK110 requires a Syncadus to become really eco. By itself or with the A101, it's not that eco. So that's my spiel on calculating economy and damage per peck for weapons in Entropia. Thanks for watching, Happy Gamer, and see you